Korea directed at the U.S., the North saying it has entered into a, quote, state of war against South Korea, and an opportunity for concrete legislation on gun control, it may be slipping away. Joining me now to talk about both of those topics, Congressman David Cicilline of Rhode Island. Sir, it's great to have you on once again, and you are on, I'll remind everybody, on the Foreign Affairs Committee. Explain from your understanding how capable North Korea is of carrying out their most extreme threats, and how seriously the U.S. is taking that from the North.
Well, thank you again for having me on, Thomas. Look, I think everyone recognizes this is an untested leader, very young, very inexperienced, who has not served in the military, and so is really trying to demonstrate his strength with the military. But obviously it's a nuclear power, and so I think it's something we have to take seriously. I think the threat is obviously more serious to South Korea in the region, but the United States has a responsibility, of course, to ensure that our strategic interests are protected and the national security interests of our country are protected. So, the United States is monitoring this closely. I think we don't know really what this leader is capable of doing, and the danger is that a misstep or miscalculation or a skirmish can result in something much more serious. So
well, as our Andrea Mitchell had pointed out, sir, earlier, the fact that North Korea remains, this hermetically sealed type of country, and we have this new and untested leader that many in the geopolitical spectrum don't know what he's capable of. As you mentioned, he might want to fly to impress his generals, never having served in any type of military service. But what does that mean when we think of diplomatic channels and how those can be used? Is it strictly that we would ask China to do something on our behalf?
Well, I think, the disappointing part is it suggests an unwillingness of this new leader to engage in a serious way in solving the issues on the Korean Peninsula. I think we're going to have to look to some of our allies in the region and some with a long history in the region to play a role in helping to bring some resolution to this relationship between South and North Korea. But I think one of the dangers is this is a leader who may not well understand all of the implications of what he says and does, both on the Korean Peninsula and in the rest of the world. So I think we have to watch it closely, take it seriously, understand what's at stake, but understand that this has the potential to be a very serious situation.
What's your assessment, though, of the fact that the U.S. was willing to do the joint military exercise with the South, the military drills with the B-2 stealth bombers?
I think it was an important message to our ally in South Korea to demonstrate to them, as well as to the North Koreans, that we stand with our ally, and hopefully force the North Korean leader, Kim Jong-un, to understand that this is not just a conflict between you and South Korea, that the potential is much larger.
So I want to shift the focus back to the other big story that we've been following, which is gun control in this country. And the president stood alongside family members of Newtown victims, other crime victims that have lost children, when he had this to say. Take a listen.
They're doing everything they can to make all our progress collapse under the weight of fear and frustration, or their assumption is that people will just forget about it.
Right now, do you think that, based on where things stand on the Hill and the appetite to do something for gun reform, has there been a missed opportunity for real action?
Well, I don't think there's been a missed opportunity. I think we have to take action. I think the president is absolutely right. We have seen these horrific shootings, and everyone gets upset for a couple of weeks and says we need to do something, and then memories fade. This time it has to be different. We are fighting, and we have to enact responsible gun safety legislation to reduce gun violence in this country. We lost 20 first-grade children to gun violence at Newtown, and since Newtown, there have been more than 2,200 gun deaths in America. We've got to do something about it. What I've sponsored and called for, universal background checks, eliminate these weapons of war, assault weapons and high-capacity ammunition in the neighborhoods of our city, fix our background check system, be sure that people are in the system so that criminals and those that are seriously mentally ill don't have access to firearms. These are common-sense proposals that will keep Americans safe. I respect and honor people's right to possess a firearm under the Second Amendment, but these are common-sense proposals that will make sure the most dangerous criminals criminals and people with serious mental illness don't have access to a firearm.
But the main place where legislation could arrive from is from the Senate Democratic side, and the senators Rand Paul and 4 others, Marco Rubio, they're threatening a filibuster on any type of proposal for gun legislation, and we know that nothing is going to erupt from the House side. So is it really logical to think that there's something that's going to come?
Well, I think this, again, is a very important moment for the American people to stay engaged in this fight, for members to be hearing from their constituents every day in the House and in the Senate and demand for responsible gun safety legislation be enacted. I think it is critical in this moment. We're at a very, very critical moment that members of the Senate in particular hear from their constituents. Even most gun owners favor most of these common sense proposals.
Right.
We cannot let the power of the NRA drown out the voices of ordinary Americans who believe in common sense gun safety. I don't think we can give up. This is going to be a tough fight. The NRA has enormous power in Washington. It's a very powerful special interest lobbying organization. But the American people have more power, and we just need to keep up the fight.
Congressman Cicilline, sir, nice to see you again. Thank you.
Nice to see you.